Hey guys, welcome back to more AFK Arena. In today's video, we'll be going through all active codes at the beginning of May. Also, we'll go through the wish list that I would be using for a new player just to get started if I was starting a fresh account, what I would set my wish list as. Also, the base wish list in the game has changed. So when you do your first summon ever in the game, the game has its own set wish list, and that has actually modified, which is interesting, which we'll look at as well. So let's get into it. And not to leave anyone hanging, there are no new codes that dropped today, the day of this video. This is just one that I like to do at the start of every month, so that if anyone's re-rolling or starting fresh, they can get all the codes that are active, and also I can go through a wish list for those newer players. So the first thing I just want to quickly show is this wish list that has changed. I noticed because I just ran a fresh account, got through the tutorial, did my base summon, and I got a Kren, and he was never in the wish list. Now I can't remember exactly who has changed. I think Rowan is new in the base wish list. So is Kren, so is Solus, Respin, and Saurus, and so is Damon, Odin as well. They're all new to the wish list. Unfortunately, they did take Isolde off of the Graveborn one. It would have been great to see Grizzle out of there and Isolde still in there. But hey, they have changed it up a bit. Really nice that you can get Damon, Saurus, and Euron. It would have been fantastic if you could have got Isolde in there as well. But they have definitely changed it up a bit. So as for codes, that's the other thing. If you're wondering, you can actually click on this and you can go ahead and get 300 diamonds. So go ahead and do that as well. But for the codes, you can see on the screen, we have all the active codes at the moment. I'll go through quickly how to redeem them for people who don't know, and show you the process while we do it. Okay, so to redeem the codes, we're going to go to this website here. You're going to see here, use UID. That's your user ID. You're going to want to enter that in. So we're going to go back into the game. And we're going to go ahead and click our character portrait in the top left, and we're going to get that user ID. So for me, it's going to be 127. Let's enter that in, and then I'll show you 127 820 723. We do 723. And then if I swap you back over to this screen, you can see I've just entered that in the top section. Then we're going to hit send code. Once you do that, it's going to say verification code has been sent. So we're going to jump back over into the game, and we're going to jump into the mail. As you can see, I've done a verification code 2 minutes ago just to test it. And we can go ahead here and we can click on this verification code. If you do multiple, you've got to go to the most recent verification code. And then we're going to take that one, which is going to be 256. Is it 253? 253 652 652. So we're going to take that, and then we're going to jump over here. You can see I've entered that in down the bottom there. We're going to hit login, and then it's login successful. And now, as you can see, it's got my player here. Now, that what you see here is the server number followed by the character name, the account name, followed by the account level. So as you can see, this is the one with my 827 account. That's the main account on this one. But this one we're going to leave here for the demonstration. And what you can do is you can drop down through all of them and do all your codes. And now from here, literally all we're going to do is take all these codes. Now, I've tried to order these codes from best to worst. With like the stuff that they get. The first one's going to give you like 30 scrolls. The second one's going to give you some scrolls and diamonds and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and redeem that. Up the top, you'll see exchange successful. And this one here will go again. And literally we're just copying and pasting like that. Exchange successful. Copy the next one. Redeem. Successful. And you literally go through that easy. And if you wanted to redeem them on another account as well, you literally hit the drop down, go to the next one, hit redeem, and then put in the next code if you've got multiple accounts when you're doing it in the future. But we're just going to keep going through redeeming these, get all those goodies, and it's pretty simple. It's a lot easier on the PC, I find, but you can also do it on your phone. Just it's not as intuitive as having a PC with 2 screens especially. So let's just jump this. Next one. Redeem that. Redeem that one. And the final one. Copy that and redeem that. And once again, we get the exchange successful. Now, if you try to exchange one that you've already done or that doesn't work, you'll hit redeem and it'll give you like a little error code. See, error key, batch error. It's already been used or it doesn't exist. So that's how you know whether or not they have gone through. So from that, we jump back over here into the game, and we have to exit out of the mail first, and then when you jump back in the mail, all those goodies will be there. Now, like I said, the first code was the one that was the best one. So you can see down the bottom, we do have the better rewards. And there we go. So this one down the bottom, 30 scrolls, really nice for the start of the game. This one here actually is probably, it is better. It's actually got 10 scrolls, 10 scrolls, 10 Stargazer tickets and 3,000 diamonds. Gives you 30 summons and 10 Stargazers. Now, Stargazer doesn't open until chapter 16, so those are just sit in your bag till then. And then as you can see, we got some not bad stuff coming in here. You can see we are starting off with 140 diamonds. We collect all that stuff, bumps us up to 5,340 diamonds. And then if we go ahead and check the bag as well, we've got those extra 20 stones. You can still see those diamonds rolling in, but we've got the 20 stones, which doesn't give us a full summon, but gets us close. We've also got the 45 scrolls, 10 faction scrolls, and 10 Stargazer tickets, which ain't too bad at all. So that's what it does give you from the start. Not too bad. Now, when you're re-rolling as well, you've got a bunch of other stuff you can get. You can go into these events. You can collect these diamonds here, which is 1,000 now. That used to be 500, which is bumped up to 1,000, which is really nice. So you can actually like start your re-roll pretty strongly with like that sort of effect, and then we can go to the campaign. We can get some more diamonds from this sort of stuff, and you can really set yourself up for a nice little summon session at the start of the game. So that's pretty much all the diamonds you'll get just by completing the first chapter. You can collect the hero ones as well by going into the portraits, finding the heroes that you have summoned. As you can see, I summoned a Kren, going story, open that up, and you can get that one there. And that is the basics to your reroll, but I'm not going to go through those and get all of them right now. And then you can go into the tavern and you can summon with all that good stuff. But next thing I want to look at is going to be the wish list, because the wish list is the important thing. You really want to set this before you do any summons. Now, your first 10 pull is going to be guaranteed to have an elite hero. As you can see, elite hero guaranteed in first 10 pull. This one doesn't say it, but your first 10 pull of a faction also has a guaranteed elite. So when we jump in here, wish list, this is, and I'm just going to browse through this really fast. Because I don't want to spend too much time here. Now, for me, I still really like Eloard for this. Basically, the staples for me, if you're a brand new player, Lucius is fantastic early game. If you're an experienced player, you can probably get away without Lucius, but this would be my sort of staple 3 units, and then you can add in tech choices. My 2 tech choices are going to be Eloard. Sorry, I lost my voice. Are going to be Eloard and also Cecilia. Basically, Cecilia till I get her to Elite Plus, then I'll probably swap her out for Gwyneth, but that's a bit more advanced. That's the sort of thing I would be looking at. As long as you got Rowan in there is the main one that you do not want to go without. And you can sort of play around with the rest. Then we jump into the maulers. Now, maulers are very much up to you, however you want to play it. What I'd normally look at is, sorry, not Anarchy. I normally look at the chicken, because he's just fantastic if you can get him ascended later on in the game. Then I actually really like going for Titus and Screg personally. I like what these guys can do later on in the game. I like putting a copy of Brutus in there just so I can get him, because if you get him early, he's got this immunity which can be really handy. And then for the final slot, you've got things like Drez, you've got Kren you can opt in, you got Sophia, some people go Citrana, you got the Totem dude as well. Any mix of any of those units that I just said is pretty much fine. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Sophia in there, just because her pyramid, especially if you end up pulling some Erons, can be really helpful in the early game, and the progression. So that's going to be that. This one, Wilders, is pretty staple for me. The wish list normally looks like this, and then we throw Leica and Tassie in. And the final spot, I normally put Pippa personally. However, you've definitely got an option with Nomura as well. Or if you want to have fun with something else, like Solus is a fun carry that some people opt in for. Raku's pretty cool that some people might opt in for, but then probably not optimal in my opinion. This is where I would leave it. And then for Graveborn, Graveborn for me is fairly staple. It just looks like this. I know some people don't like going with Odin, but also a copy of Nara is really nice to get. So maybe if you get like one copy of Pharrell, then swap out, get a copy of Nara, then swap back to Pharrell, because Nara is incredibly useful in some situations for just locking out a single enemy in the early game. But Daemon, amazing godly carry. Isolde, also an amazing godly carry. So if you can get good copies of either of those and make them your highest ascended, they're going to be incredibly helpful. Silas, just busted healing for early game. and moving on into the later game as well. Odin, because his portals are just so amazing, especially if you're using an Isold carry. His portals are so advantageous that it's just ridiculous. So Odin's definitely one, and then Pharrell, he just becomes great CC a bit later on. So that is the wish list I would start off with if I was starting a fresh account. Me personally, like I said, Maulers definitely has the most wriggle room. So does the Light Bearers in those last 2 slots, but that's pretty much what we're looking at. So with that out of the way, let's jump in and show you what some summons would look like. So all I've done here is my first single summon, which nabbed me a Kren. And because I did nab a Kren on that, I'd actually probably swap this over to Kren, because if I get a couple copies, then we can just do him as a carry type thing. So we'll see how we go. So let's jump in. We actually got plenty of summons to do here. This is a really good time to reroll. As you can see, we got the one guaranteed, which ends up being a Pippa. Probably not the best one you want to be pulling straight up. And if you're re-rolling, you just go through different servers and just try on different servers. But you really want to get like more than one purple every 30 pulls. Like this is looking pretty nicely. We got a second Kren. Like I said, I put him on the wish list because I already had one. Now we get him to higher ascension. It's really nice. We're going to jump into these diamonds. I would also, if I was re-rolling, I'd do the single scrolls. Just don't do single diamond pulls, because single diamond pulls cost you 300, whereas 10 costs you 2,700, so you're actually wasting diamonds if you do singles on diamonds, but you can do single scrolls. We went ahead and got a Wukong, which leads me into the next thing that you should always do is once you do summon a hero and you get the animation, you can do the Facebook share thing. And it's going to say, if you don't have it hooked up, it's not going to say it. But if you get to the Facebook share page, you don't actually have to do it. And what you want to do is you want to do this, I believe it's 5 times. Doing it twice will get you another free copy of Wukong. And then by doing it the extra times on top of that, you'll get through a little mission that I'll show you in a sec. But like, honestly, if you pull a Celestial or a Hypergene, there's a few that are more important than others, but a Wukong pull right now is amazing because Wukong's actually one of the best carries in the game, and you do get a free copy of him, which I'll talk about in a sec. But if you get summons like this where you start with a bonus Wukong, it's a pretty good start. It's a pretty good start. So Celestial Hypergems, really low drop rates. And as you can see, we're just away. So with that, what I'd do is I'd jump into the portraits because we're on 2640. I'd go to the story. I'd go collect that. And now you can get one more 10 pull. And by the time you're done with these summons, you'll probably be able to collect all those and get another 10 pull again with all the new heroes that you've got. So there's that one. Like I said, I'd go through those 5 scrolls as well. Faction scrolls, you can swap it. It costs you 300 diamonds. For 10 scrolls, I wouldn't swap it. I'd wait for the day you want. And personally, I think Graveborn is the way to go for early game. So I would normally wait for Graveborn day, which they just rotate every day. But for this sake, show you that we do get a guaranteed purple on the first one. And we went ahead and got an Eloard, who's actually really good support for the early game as well. So not too bad there. And that is pretty much the reroll process. As you can see, we've done that. I can show you how many diamonds we would actually get from here. We'd get 1, 2, 3. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. 13. So you'd get an extra 1,600 diamonds just from collecting those 100 diamond bonus rewards from the characters you've summoned from that, which is incredibly nice. Plus you'll have a bunch of extra experience in here from all the hero summons, which will help you with your progress as well. All that stuff to check. Now, like I said, you want to go to these events here. You're going to go ahead and collect the Wukong. That gives me a second Wukong on this one. And the reason we did the extra shares is down here. You get the Facebook share achievements for doing it 5 times. You get a bunch of dust, which dust is very scarce in the early game, so that's going to help you progression a lot. But that pretty much covers all the codes, the wish list, the basics to do at the start of the game for this month. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.